Hey everybody, it is Kiana with KF Creative. If you don't know me, I am a digital scrapbooker, Photoshop aficionado. I love using Photoshop for graphic design and all that kind of good stuff. I am also on the staff or the creative team at Sweet Shop Designs as a staff blogger, and so I do that as well. I'm here today. I wanted to do a real time scrap session for you guys and kind of show you my routine on how I am speeding up my scrap routine basically. I wrote a blog about this on the Sweet Shop blog with a few of my tried and true tips, and so here I'm basically showing you how I use those tips. I start with one kit. I'm usually a one kit scrapper. I find that not having to go look through my stash and do stash diving and all of that for different elements or papers helps a lot to speed up my scrapbook routine. But also, the amazing designers at Sweet Shop, obviously, their kits and collections have a ton of things to use, and usually everything is included. So it makes it super easy to just one kit scrap anyway. But here, I already knew what photo I wanted, I already knew what kit I wanted. I'm going to be using My Favorite Lady by Erica Zane, which is in the Sweet Shop Design shop and is available. And this photo is one from recent, what, last month? I think it was in August. Me and my bestie, we've been friends for 31 years, and we're always like sending each other super cute little gifts and things when the other one is going through something or feeling down or maybe not feeling up to the mom wife life, right? So she recently was feeling down about just life in general, really. I mean, kind of working through this pandemic. She's working from home. She's got a little cabin fever because she's not really getting out. They're trying to be diligent about not just going back to regular everyday life and activities. Even though, we have the vaccine, yada yada, they're still kind of at home. And then she works from home as well. So she sent me this thank you gift back after I had already sent her something to kind of cheer her up. And I love this cute little wine tumbler because it's totally us. Like, we are very, very unladylike when we talk to each other. We curse, we cut up, we laugh, we make fun of people. Like, we just get it all out in our relationship, and I love that. So I just wanted to document it. So another, besides one kit scrapping, I'm usually going to pick and choose things and roll with it. So if I choose some papers or elements and it works, I'm usually going to keep it on the page, figure out how to work it in. If I don't like it, then it's out. I don't usually hem and haw over a lot of the elements or papers that long. I don't even hem and haw or, kind of waver back and forth on where I want to place things either. I find that kind of having a vision, having your photos ready, using one kit, these are all things that can save you time and allow you to speed up your scrapbook routine. Obviously, we're all moms and wives and sisters and aunts and co-workers, and we have jobs and sports and carpools and all of that stuff. So, I mean, we want to keep these memories and document these memories, but sometimes we want to do it quicker. Sometimes we want to get it done, you know? So, this is how I do it. Most of my pages are 30 minutes, maybe. Maybe an hour might be the longest that I'm spending on a page, but for the most part, most of my pages are about 30 minutes long. That's all it takes. I usually am super quick, and that's on a bad day. On a good day, if I'm working through creative team layouts and trying to get products scrapped for the amazing designers at Sweet Shop, then I could probably get a page done in about 15 minutes. Just depends on what's happening, what my vision is for that page. But here I'm just going through choosing paints and splatters, and I'm just like, "Oh, I like this. I want it. I put it on the page." Right? Like Ariana Grande says, "I see it, I like it, I want it, I buy it." Right? I'm If I like it, I'm putting it on my page. I'll figure it out. I don't usually take a And if it doesn't work when I put it on the page, then I just delete it. It's easy. That's the beauty of this digital scrapbooking hobby, is right. Like, we can delete, delete, place as many times as we want. We can cut, we can mess up, and there's always the undo button. So now I am going through to find some foliage and get that on the page. Again, it doesn't take me long to choose my shadow style or where I want to place it. I just kind of roll with it. I'm going to grab this other leaf. I wanted it a little bit bigger, and I know that I'm going to put it under there, so I'll drop it down. That's another big time saver, is know your tools. I've been using Photoshop for what, maybe 13 years now. So I know a lot of the hotkeys and shortcuts that are my favorites, and I use them faithfully every day. So if I'm going to move something down a layer, then I'm not going to usually mouse drag it down. I'm usually going to control bracket up and down the layers. If I'm going to duplicate something, control J. If I'm going to mask clip something, then I have a clip set up for control M. If I want to turn a layer on and off, then it's control and the what are those? The greater than, less than, period, commas, those control comma, control period. I think it's control comma will turn a layer on and off so that you can view it or not view it. I use all of the hotkeys. I'm a hotkey queen. Even to switch back and forth between my different windows, I'm using Alt Tab to go back to the kit, back to Photoshop, back to the kit, back to Photoshop. So usually I usually have one hand on my mouse and one hand on my keyboard to do all of those hotkeys as I am scrapbooking. It definitely, once I learned hotkeys, that dramatically helped my speed time as far as scrapbooking, which has definitely helped me out many, many times when you're doing those big sale events for stores on the creative team, like DSD, which is coming up next month in October. Those designers start cranking out all of those products, and being able to work through them quickly and efficiently. Definitely hotkeys. I'm using those all the time. So you'll see I grabbed this tag. I almost placed it at the top, but then I remembered my vision for this page, so I'm going to hold that vision was to have the journal text at the top of this page. So I didn't want the tag to stick over that. So now I'm bringing in a couple of other fun things from the kit. They kind of make sense, but they make sense in my head. Moment captured. I mean, obviously, this isn't like a in real life moment of like, hey, we saw each other, but it's a moment that's captured. So And then this cute unicorn is amazing. It's perfect for our friendship. We're always like sending each other words of affirmation, words of support, words of encouragement. So this cute unicorn with all those great words are is perfect. And I knew I wanted to use it. Now it's time for some flowers. Again, I just grab and go. If I see a flower that I'm like, oh, I like this flower, I like this flower, I like this one, I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna throw it on the page. Doesn't usually take me a long time to figure out where to place them, especially if I already have my leaves placed. Um, so I just kind of eyeball it and say, oh, that looks good there, leave it. Um, and if I know I want to move one up, then I just add shadows and move on to the next thing. You won't see me use rulers or guidelines. I'm not a big person that measures when I am scrapbooking. I'm kind of like eyeball it. So I'll just eyeball everything. Oh, that goes there. That's the right size, or it's too big, or it's too small. I don't really worry about too much of that as far as like down to the dimension size, right? Like how many pixels is this flower when I print it? I don't care. Yeah, I just if it looks visual pleasing on my screen when I'm scrapping at home, then that's what I'm sticking with. So there I duplicated those flowers. Knew I wanted to use the same three just to keep that visual triangle interest going, the coordination kind of. And then I just kind of floated them differently, like stacked, layered them differently. So the white one was below the frame. Now it's kind of sitting above the foliage branch on the left side. Now I'm duplicating that leaf from the bottom cluster. Gonna figure out like, hey, I know I want this one kind of sitting on top of things and the other one underneath. I kind of eyeballed it and now add some shadows, and I'm going to find some flowers for that cluster. I'm going to bring in a few of the other flowers from the other two clusters, but then I did want to add a little bit of visual interest, especially since this is a bigger cluster. This one can handle a few more flowers than just three. So I'm going to grab those, bring them in, and figure out where to place them. This green flower, I just figured like, oh yeah, let's put it on top. We don't really want it. I didn't really want to cover up that pretty paint, that pretty gold and paint on over in the right corner. So now I'm just kind of eyeballing this flower, seeing how it looks. I'm going to add some shadows to these, and I knew that I saw some feathers in there that I liked a lot. So I know I want to go back and add those feathers in because that feather is gorgeous. So I'm going to add that feather in and get it shadowed. I wanted a high shadow, but it was a little too dark on top of that photo. So I'm just going to multiply it. Well, change the blend mode to multiply so that it lightens it up a little bit. And then I'm going to duplicate it because it's super cute and I just wanted more of that flower. I didn't want to cover up that, wanted more of that feather, excuse me. I didn't want to cover up the white flower, so I just kind of rotated it so that you can still see the white flower peeking out. Now it is time to add the journaling. I already had the journaling typed, which is another super quick time saver. I knew the photos that I wanted to use, so I typed the journal in a notepad, or you could do it in Word, Microsoft Word, so that it was already ready. I didn't have to think about it as I was creating the page, right? That's going to save time. So if you can have things like that done, then you're going to save time. So I typed that out in Notepad. I just brought it over, copied it in, and now I'm just going through kind of how I want it to look. Again, I'm eyeballing all of this. If it looks good on the screen, then I'm not worried about um, what size my font is. I think I went down to like a 10 on this font. So I mean, it may come out a little small when I print it, but truthfully, it's not a big deal breaker for me. I mean, if you can't read it when you look at my scrapbooks, then put some glasses on. I mean, I don't know. Right now, I might not even be able to read it when I print it off, but I usually print in 10 by 10. So a 10-inch, pixel font, 10 size. I don't know if it's pixels, but 10 point font size usually is good enough on my pages when I print it. And then obviously I changed it to a kind of light pink to match the kit so that it would pop off the page as well. Now I'm just going to move it down a little bit. Again, I'm using the arrow keys. I'm not going to drag it down. And now this page is pretty much done. I'm going to go grab the title that I wanted, which is that beautiful gold word besties. And I'm going to bring that in so that I can have a official title for my page. You see me, I almost put it over there, but then I was like, nope, it goes over here in the corner on top of this flower cluster. I'm adding a shadow, and we call this page done. Thank you guys for watching. If you like more of these where I'm doing a voiceover and kind of explaining my process, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, until next time, keep scrapping.